And finally, new rule, stop saying that Whoopi Goldberg getting yanked from The View right after she attacked me on The View is karma. There's no such thing as karma, sorry. Sorry, but life is random. The only word to describe it when a big game hunter gets trampled by an elephant and then eaten by lions is hilarious.
They're disgusting. She's Anna Navarro in your wildest imagination. You could never solo host a show. You will only ever make it as part of an ensemble, and you could never hope to achieve the success that Tucker Carlson has. So you can sit in your little cheap seats all day long and enjoy your little negative henpecking, but your careers are going nowhere, and Tucker is about to die.
It's called The View?
It's called The View. It's not called The Facts.
Yeah, but isn't it interesting? And it's called, I mean, I don't think they meant this when Barbara Walters invented it a long time ago, but it's The View.
Well,
that's the problem in America.
But
there is one view,
right, and
one
that's clearly
true opinion, and everybody else can go sit.
It all kicked off when Whoopi Goldberg lobbed a pointed jab at Bill Maher on The View, probably expecting he'd brush it off. Instead, Maher fired back with an unexpectedly fierce response.
Whoopi Goldberg, because I got so many texts this week because she attacked me the week before. Sure. So everybody was like, "Oh, Bill, I get you're enjoying the karma." First of all, I'm going to talk about this at the end of my show next week, teaser. But there is no thing as karma, okay? Get over that. Whoopi attacks me on a regular basis. She says stupid shit on a regular basis. They just happen to go.
Instantly turning a casual quip into the spark that ignited the whole showdown. What came next was a tidal wave of backlash, loud, sharp, and almost surgical in its precision. Maher didn't just clap back. He launched a full-scale counterstrike from afar. No cozy seat at the table, no polite cup of coffee with a daytime panel. Instead, he went straight for the show's foundation and started yanking out the beams one by one. And this is where the story really twists. As the storm erupted over Whoopi's on-air jab, she suddenly vanished from the broadcast. Social media lit up instantly, glowing like a Christmas tree as people shouted, "Karma." As if the universe itself had delivered the punchline. Maher wasn't buying any of it. "There's no such thing as karma," he declared on air, without a hint of hesitation. To him, life is chaos, random, unfair, and sometimes darkly hilarious. Like a big game hunter being trampled by an elephant and then immediately eaten by lions. Not cosmic justice, just absurdity.
Hot mess that they air in the mornings, called The View, had to issue not one, not two, not three, but 4 corrections, legal corrections, 4 legal notes. We only have 3 of them on camera, but look at this.
I have another legal note. My God. Both Trump and Pam Bondi have denied allegations of a quid pro quo. I have a legal note.
Not to mention what they did at that debate, where once again, they tried to fact check only one side, and then when their fact checks got fact checked, they cowered. They cowered in fear. I mean, this is
Maher wasn't chasing revenge. What truly lit the fuse was the long history of Whoopi's casual jabs, and how quickly the crowd erupted in celebration the moment she finally slipped. Before we dive back in, a quick reminder, like this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps us grow and bring you more stories like this. Now, on to the next twist. Just when it seemed the drama couldn't get any messier, Megyn Kelly stepped in, not onto the View set, but she didn't need to. From the sidelines, she delivered a calm yet razor-sharp commentary that sliced straight into the show's glossy center. No shouting, no theatrics, just a cool, precise critique. Kelly voiced what many viewers had been whispering for years. That the show often feels like an overproduced echo chamber, dressed up as a conversation. And she didn't stop there.
I mentioned this karma stuff on the show last week because I was relating how many texts and emails I got from people congratulating me on receiving a karmagram from the universe in the form of Whoopi Goldberg's chastisement. So I thought this would be a good time for a little tutorial on karma, which, as Americans understand it, is nothing more than an extension of the common logical fallacy called post hoc ergo propter.
She went after the format itself, arguing that the hosts weren't engaging in real debate at all. Instead, she said they were performing a scripted routine of synchronized outrage, packaged and presented as discussion. One person talks, the rest nod along. And any guest daring to offer a fresh angle gets shut down before they can finish a sentence. No real dialogue, just a scripted performance. Kelly called out the endless loop of virtue signaling, the one-view-fits-all mindset, and the faux empowerment that turns toxic the moment someone pushes back. But the wildest part, the women of The View didn't respond at all. No fiery comeback, no clever rebuttal, just silence. As if they knew her words hit closer to home than they wanted to admit. One woman, one microphone, zero hesitation. And somehow, that single monologue landed harder than an entire week of the show's episodes combined, and she didn't stop there.
Will be sworn in as the 47th President of the United States, yay, on January 20th of this month. Not everyone's happy about it, and many people would like us to be more focused on the insurrection that he personally unleashed, if you ask them. As we discussed earlier, they think it's as bad as like the Holocaust, and you don't have to take my word for it. Here is Sunny Hostin of The View.
January 6th was an atrocity. It was one of the worst moments in American history. And when you think about the worst moments in American history, like World War II, things that happened, like the Holocaust, chattel slavery.
Yeah, the January 6th is right up there next to the Holocaust.
Kelly argued that The View had become a place where logic flatlines and the hosts fire off half-formed opinions they skimmed minutes before going live. Her critique was cutting. She said watching the show felt like sitting in a class taught by people who never did the assigned reading. She also pointed out how frequently the program has been forced to issue legal corrections. Not one, not two, 4, she said. Yet on camera, they acknowledged only 3, which she argued was proof of just how sloppy things have become. According to Kelly, the issue isn't just being uninformed, it's being careless. When the hosts attempt to fact-check others, she said they often end up needing fact-checks themselves. And to top it off, she accused them of turning ordinary disagreements into overblown melodrama, instead of offering viewers solid arguments or balanced perspectives. Kelly argued that the show serves up emotional turbulence, wrapped in a smile more like group therapy for politically confused celebrities than a genuine roundtable.
That hat that you keep wearing, that red hat that says "Make America Great Again," that tells people that you go along with this. So you might as well just put a swastika on the hat.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Because we see it anyway.
I'm not going to defend Donald Trump ever, but I would never say that we should put the swastika on the cap, because I think you can hate Donald Trump. You can't hate everybody who likes him. It's half the country. I don't want to live in that country. I don't want to live in the country where I hate half the country, and I don't hate half the country.
Her descriptions of the hosts were laced with razor-sharp sarcasm. Joy, she said, sounded like someone still furious about a breakup from the 80s. Sunny. Hostin projected the vibe of a lawyer, convinced her degree places her beyond reproach. Lissa Farah Griffin was billed as the resident conservative, though Kelly quipped she's about as convincing as a vegan at a Texas barbecue. And Whoopi, part moderator, part napper, wasn't spared either. Kelly's critique was precise, almost surgical. Maher's response, meanwhile, didn't drift in quietly. It crashed through the discourse with full wrecking ball energy. Maher didn't hold back. He blasted The View for turning into a place where differing opinions aren't debated, they're attacked.
enough to remember when it was the conservatives who hated the Jews.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bill Maher, who has been the standard bearer for liberalism and in many ways leftism until the woke went bananas in this last decade, but for decades, that's what this guy has represented in America. I want you to note the tone they all talk with him. I want you to look at Sonny Hostin's body language and the way they look at him and everything else. Just because he is a lefty who hasn't gone completely bananas, here they are talking about the word.
In his words, it's no longer a talk show. It's synchronized indignation. Everyone gets outraged on cue. And if anyone dares challenge the status quo, instant panic. Cut to the cooking segment, dim the lights, and pretend nothing happened. Maher aimed directly at what he saw. As the show's escalating hypocrisy, Maher argued that you can't claim to champion open dialogue when any guest with a different viewpoint gets dogpiled like a toddler, thrown into a ball pit full of bees. And you certainly can't preach tolerance while treating opposing opinions as if they're acts of aggression. To him, this wasn't just political. It was a culture built on shutting down dissent with emotional theatrics instead of genuine debate. And then came the line that left the entire audience.
Was angry when Alyssa pointed out that Trump went to the funeral of Officer Diller.
Yes.
On Long Island, and Joe Biden went to a podcast. Look at Whoopi Goldberg's reaction.
Choose what you like there, but for Republicans, it was good imagery.
Really?
One day later, yes.
And I'm asking that because I was so offended because you know who showed up.
Yeah.
And he was, whether he was asked or not. This is a man who didn't care what happened to the officers on January 6th.
She promotes Joe Biden and Kamala Harris every day on that show. Trump wasn't supportive enough of the cops who were, yes, in danger on J6. How does that explain their behavior?
Stunned. Maher delivered one of his sharpest lines yet. You can hate Trump, but you can't hate everyone who likes him. It landed like a direct hit. He reminded viewers that half the country supported Trump at some point. And dismissing all of them as villains isn't progress, it's denial. What made the moment even more powerful was his delivery. No shouting, no theatrics, just cool, clipped commentary delivered with a smirk. None of the View's hosts could touch that dot, and the impact didn't end there. Maher then set his sights on what he sees as the show's manufactured image of being a safe space for women's voices.
The term woke has been, in my view, co-opted by the right and weaponized and bastardized. And so I was surprised to hear you use the term because historically, as you know, because I think you're quite brilliant, that woke is a word used by the Black community to note that we must be aware of social injustices.
But words
and
migrate.
So why is that a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing, and originally that was absolutely a great thing. Alert to injustice, who's not for that? But words do migrate. Now, I'll use any term you want.
Okay.
Because maybe that is a word that's triggering, and so let's not use that word. I don't know, want to call it the super far left, but don't tell me the left
Maybe the super far right.
Well, he's talking about the left. Well, then
Okay, but we talked about that. I mean, I think we agree about the danger of...
To him, it's not inclusive at all. It's a toxic clique that pushes out any woman who refuses to toe the ideological line. He pointed to former co-hosts, like Megyn McCain and Candace Cameron Bure, as examples of how dissent is handled, not with debate, but with exile. Even liberal hosts who dare to offer a slightly different angle, Kelly argued, are met with those infamous icy stares, the silent signals that say, "You're done here." In her view, that isn't empowerment. It's daytime TV, mean girl energy with microphones. What's supposed to be an open roundtable looks, to her, more like a place where a single unscripted thought can get a woman emotionally sidelined before the next commercial break. Real empowerment, Kelly insisted, means letting women disagree without spiraling into a meltdown. But on The View, she said, disagreement isn't just uncomfortable, it's treated as dangerous. The result is an atmosphere where everyone tiptoes across eggshells, terrified that one wrong phrase or slightly off-script opinion might get them exiled by what she jokingly called the sisterhood of the perpetually offended. And Maher didn't soften his stance either. He argued that the only thing truly consistent on the show is its predictable spikes of moral superiority. Every time someone dares mention free speech without a disclaimer attached. According to him, the format demands total alignment. "You don't survive long at that table," he said, "unless you follow the script word for word." And that script, in his view, supports only one acceptable perspective. But just when it seemed Kelly had already delivered her final blow, she returned with what many viewers dubbed the kill shot. She didn't just critique the show's tone, she broke down what she saw as its entire formula, piece by piece. Like a high school lab experiment falling apart in real time. Her message was razor sharp. Raising your voice doesn't make you smarter. And having 5 people agree doesn't make a point, correct? It just means the echo chamber has throw pillows and branded mugs. Watching The View, Kelly argued, felt like auditing a class taught by people who never opened the textbook. Every segment seemed improvised, with hosts navigating headlines they had skimmed just minutes before going live, yet delivering their takes with unwarranted authority. What made her critique sting even more was the delivery. Calm, measured, almost surgical. She didn't shout or interrupt. She dissected the show with the precision of someone who had truly studied the material. Every line landed with slow-motion clarity. When she finished, there was silence. No on-air rebuttal, no dramatic clapback, no segment dedicated to correcting her points. 2 viewers online. That quiet spoke louder than any argument. It felt like Kelly hadn't just criticized the show, she had exposed something deeper. And the program didn't quite know how to respond. Then the focus shifted to how the show handles serious political topics, especially discussions involving Donald Trump or January 6th. Clips of past episodes highlighted moments where hosts made extreme or poorly framed historical comparisons. The issue, he argued, wasn't criticism itself, but the tendency to escalate it into theatrical moral warfare. Balanced or calmer perspectives were often drowned out, and ordinary debates turned into overblown crises. Symbolic items, like a MAGA hat, were sometimes treated as emblematic of extremism, comparisons that, in his view, were absurd and unhelpful. The result was blanket condemnation of entire groups of voters, deepening division rather than encouraging dialogue. He further argued that the loudest voices on the show, those reacting with intensity to any dissent, make it hard for the program to be taken seriously outside its core audience.